These are three things from Japan and Korea that will raise your eyebrows. First, in Korea there are stalls which sell these long Oreo churros. They're deep fried until they're crispy and you can dip it in a special cream. And even though it looks a bit weird, it tastes awesome. Next, airplane seats in Japan have these built-in switches which you can flip to reveal a do not disturb sign. This is super convenient when you don't want to be disturbed while you're sleeping, and you can simply flip it to a wake me up switch to call the attendants for food. Lastly, Japan has a Pepsi for fried chicken. Instead of looking like a normal Pepsi, it's clear and is designed to complement your fried chicken by cutting through the oiliness and making it a bit healthier. Comment below if this exists in your country.
First, while throwing away your used cooking oil, it gets pretty messy in most places. But in Korea, people use a special powder that solidifies the oil into this circular jelly, which makes it easy to dispose of without damaging your trash bags. Next, Japan has made buttering toast super easy. Just insert a block of butter into this stick, twist the knob, and spread it over your bread just like a glue stick, without getting your hands or knives messy. And finally, whenever you buy a watermelon, it's pretty awkward to hold it by yourself. That's why Korea provides you with these braided strings, which make it easier to carry them. And even though they look lightweight, they're super durable. These are three things in Japan that prove it's living in 2050. First, in Japan, instead of eating Pringles in its normal form, you can eat it in the form of noodles instead. The packaging is airtight, and they give you dried instant noodles with a seasoning that contains different flavors of various Pringle extracts. It's easy to make, and it's a hit with people who love both chips and noodles. Next, Japan has vertical sleeping pods, which let you sleep in a standing position. They're for people who need a quick rest between work or travel, and not waste money on an expensive luxury hotel room. It looks pretty weird, but people fall asleep really fast and wake up pretty relaxed. Lastly, it's pretty common in Japan to find restrooms which are made specifically for children. Everything is smaller and kid-sized, like the seats and urinals, so the kids can have no problem using it by themselves. Comment down below if this exists in your country.
Three things in Japan and Korea that will raise your eyebrows. First, in Japan, there's a cafe where everything looks like a real-life drawing. The chair, tables, and even the walls are outlined in bold ink strokes, and even the food looks like it's straight out of a sketchbook. But to be honest, it could use some color. Next, in Korea, there's a vending machine that turns your drink into slush the moment you open it. You place your drink upside down, press the button, and the machine automatically chills your drink. It's perfect for whenever your drink gets warm. And finally, Japan literally sells air. You can buy canned air from Mount Fuji, and honestly, no one really knows if there's actually air in it or not, but it makes for a great souvenir. Would you buy this?
Places that exist only in Japan and not in the US. First, in the hidden mountains of Japan, there's a place where hundreds of foxes roam freely. It's called the Zao Fox Village, and it's home to over 100 foxes of different breeds. In Japanese folklore, foxes, or kitsune, are believed to have magical powers, like shapeshifting or guarding shrines. That's why people here see them not just as animals, but as symbols of luck and mystery. Visitors can stroll through the village, watch foxes interact naturally, and even hand feed them, but only from safe spots, because these guys are still wild animals. Next, this is the Cup Noodle Museum, where you can create your own cup noodles from scratch, just the way you want it. When you first come in, there's walls filled with cup noodle history, and also a sculpture of the inventor of noodles, Momofuku. First, you have to buy a ticket and a cup, and then head to the art station and decorate it. You then hand your cup to the worker, who makes the noodles by filling it with different toppings just the way you want it. They then make it as a souvenir, and you get a pretty cool experience. Lastly, in Izu Shiboten Zoo, there's a Capybara onsen where these gentle giants get their own hot spring bath. They float around, eat fruits, and honestly just look like they're completely relaxed. Visitors can come and watch them from all over the world, and hopefully try not to feel too jealous.
Three things in Japan that just make sense. First, summers in Japan can get super hot, but they've got this cooling spray that you can spray on your skin or clothes, and it actually makes you feel colder. It's like air conditioning in a can, and it actually works. Next, after a long day of walking, Japan has these detox foot pads that you stick on the bottom of your feet before bed. They're designed to help you relax and feel refreshed by the time you wake up, kind of like a mini spa treatment while you sleep. And lastly, only in Japan, you'll get a drinkable ice cream in a packet. This is called Coolish. This creamy, squeezable treat comes in multiple flavors, including classic matcha, perfect for on-the-go enjoyment. Just twist, squeeze, and enjoy.
In Japan, you can literally rent a grandma. It's called OK Obachan, a service where women aged 60 to 94 offer their time for about $20 per hour. These grandmas do way more than just cook or clean. They'll babysit, help help with chores, teach calligraphy, and even support you emotionally during tough moments like breakups or family fights. The service taps into Japan's growing rental family trend, where people can hire stand-ins for relatives or friends to fight loneliness. With 1 in 4 seniors still working, many say this gives them income and ikigai, a sense of purpose. So, would you rent a grandma if you could?
3 Japanese and Korean ideas that make life so much easier. First, in Japan, they have storm prevention centers. These aren't just educational, they're full-on immersive experiences where you can safely go through simulations of natural disasters like earthquakes, typhoons, and tsunamis. The idea is to prepare people for real emergencies by letting them feel what these disasters are actually like. Visitors learn how to react, where to take cover, and what steps to take for safety, all through hands-on, realistic training. Secondly, in Japan, many cafes have hidden storage built right into the seats. Instead of awkwardly hanging your bag off the chair or piling everything beside you, you simply lift the lid of the seat and tuck your belongings inside. Coat, backpack, you name it, so that at the end of your meal, you're not left looking around for where you put your stuff.
This is the cutest restaurant in Japan. This is a hot pot restaurant at Kuma Onsen, also called the Kuma Bear Hot Spring, where once you enter, you get your own little bear made of soup stock. This little bear is made of konbu dashi, a rich, savory broth made from seaweed and veggies. As the hot soup pours in, the bear gently melts, which releases all that umami flavor. Once the bear is gone, you're left with a delicious hot pot base ready for your meats, tofu, and noodles, and it's just as tasty as it is adorable. And you also get a free gift after if you're lucky, so subscribe if you'd visit the Kuma Bear Hot Pot. These are 3 things in Japan that prove Japan is living in 2050. In Japan, the seats in trains are pretty unique. You can actually spin them around 180 degrees in case you want to face somebody behind you. All you have to do is press a button under your chair, and you can turn your chair how much ever you want, whether you're in a group of 4 people or simply to look outside. The rotating seats also let everyone face the direction of travel, which reduces motion sickness. Next, Japan has slippers that you can wear both ways. If you take off your slipper and don't want to do a whole U-turn just to put it back on, these slippers have got you covered. Simply slip it on in whatever direction you want and you're good to go. They also have bumps on the bottom that make it feel like you're having a foot massage. And finally, Japan has private capsules in hotels, which is a budget-friendly way to sleep and equipped with ambient lighting, USB chargers, a mirror, AC control, and sometimes even a TV. They're for people who missed the last train or have quick overnight business trips, but mostly for people who just want some alone time without spending too much money. 3 things in Japan that will blow your mind. First, you can rent small, real-life go-karts for a real-life racing adventure. You can dress as your favorite video game character and drive against other drivers feeling like you're actually in a real-life video game. It's super fun and completely legal, so you can cruise in the Tokyo streets without any worries. Next, Japan has automatic shoe wrappers. You just place your shoes inside of them and it gets sealed in a plastic covering that makes sure you don't get dirt from your shoe on any clean floors. It's great for when you want to enter people's houses without dirtying their floors, and ensures that your shoes get VIP treatment. And finally, whenever you ask for your bill in Japan, instead of saying you want the bill, you hold up an X symbol, and you get your bill in a matter of seconds. These are 3 things from Japan and Korea that you wish existed in your country. First, in South Korea, public bathrooms have stick soap. Instead of a typical soap dispenser, you'll see a bar of soap attached to a metal stick coming straight out of the wall. All you have to do is grab the bar and rub it directly to lather your hands. It's pretty awesome, but it definitely catches people off guard from how strange it looks. Next, Japan has an underground parking system for your bike. Instead of parking it on the street, you first scan the system with a card containing your bike's unique ID. Then, the machine opens up and stores your bicycle in an underground system, so you don't have to worry about someone stealing it. And finally, Korea has a pretty unique way to dry your umbrellas. All you have to do is put your wet umbrella in this special compartment and the machine dries it up in a matter of seconds. And the icing on the cake is that they're usually free of charge. Did you know Japan hosts a watermelon eating competition for capybaras? Every summer, for 10 years straight, zoos across Japan, especially Izu, Shabotan Zoo, host this juicy event. Capybaras are given whole watermelon slices, and the crowd watches in silence and awe at first as they munch like champions, and the cheering gets louder while the capybaras just vibe and eat watermelon like there's no tomorrow. Capybaras are known as the chillest animals on Earth, and they love watermelon. It keeps them cool, hydrated, and surprisingly competitive. The winner is usually the eldest capybara, because while they eat slow, they make sure to never stop. Be honest, would you watch this event? In Japan, you can make your own smoothies in convenience stores. Simply take a fruit cup of your choice from the freezer and put it in a blender, and you have your own tasty smoothie. At number 2 is mountain noodles. On mountains, crystal clear spring water is funneled into long bamboo slides, and in that water are thin, cold somen noodles racing downhill at full speed. You can then dip them into a savory soy-based sauce called mentsuyu, and it's super refreshing. And at number 3, we have cake in a can. It looks like a soda, but inside there's layers of sponge cake, whipped cream, and fresh fruit, handmade by a local bakery in Tokyo and stuffed in local vending machines. So if you want to try this, make sure to subscribe.